X3 because of the stupid thigh extender and the big bump in the center console. It sticks out and it's like right in the way of your calf.
Okay. All right.
And it's a BMW.
Hey everyone, welcome back. All right, today I'm going to talk about something, and this is why Lexi does not like BMW. Now I know that everyone's going out there, especially my subscribers, who majority are BMW fans like myself. You know, they probably can't fathom why someone wouldn't like BMW, but let me describe a little backstory of how this happened and why did she get to this point. This was more particular of a client advisor as opposed to the dealership itself, although a little bit is dealership itself. Let's just say we went to a dealership in Sacramento and we looked at the BMW X3. Now this was after she'd already test driven the Audi. So I'm like, all right, you know, this would be a perfect car for you. I think it's you know, the X3 M40i would have been a good fit. And I think we just ended up with a client advisor who were just unfamiliar with the brand. I think they could have been fairly new, but I don't understand how this happens. How do we get people who just don't know the product? I feel like if you're going to sell a product, you should know a product. You know, years ago, when I first moved here to California, I actually went to Audi Concord, BMW, and I tried to apply for a job because I know the brands very well. And knowing the brands, I can sell them. Although I have really no sales experience, but that's a whole other story on its own. They didn't hire me, obviously. But we went there and looked at the X3. He pulled it out of the lot, and she drove it. And a few things went on that I felt like, as a salesperson, this is your chance to really capture your people. So BMWs, if you notice, if you look inside them, they're not like, you know, the interiors aren't just super over the top, like, you know, buttons and screens, and like you'll find like an Acura, or you go to Lexus and you'll see a super nice interior. You're gonna see something that's very simple, minimal. And I believe that's just, you know, if you think about it, BMW's done this for years because they're focusing on driving. BMW puts sport ahead of luxury. Okay. So the way you capture someone, if you're trying to sell someone a BMW, is you need to get them out on the road, get them driving, have them hit some curves, hear the sound of the engine, just have fun with the car. And let's say that didn't happen. And she gets on the road, she's driving, and we're just talking, and, you know, like, okay, wait for him to start going over some features. He didn't say anything. So I'm trying my best not to step on anybody's toes. You know, I'm trying to be respectful of someone who is selling the car. Says, hey, does the car have this? Does the car have that? You know, trying to start a conversation. We kind of go, yeah, that's got it, yeah. So we get further up, and let's say it happened, we were going on the highway. We're at a metered ramp, where a metered ramp means there's a traffic light, a red light on the ramp itself. And it's trying to minimize traffic congestion. I think some states have it. I don't know if you're where you live, depending on where you're watching, but there's a red light at the ramp, and that's to minimize a bunch of cars coming on the ramp at the same time. So light turns green, you gotta step on it because you gotta blend in with traffic. So as we wait for the red light, as we're in line, I said, hey, does the car have sport mode? Thinking that, okay, he put it in sport mode and we're gonna hit it. Oh yeah, it's got that. I'm thinking to myself, okay. And he said, oh yeah, it also has Eco, has Eco Pro, blah, blah, blah. I'm thinking to myself, you're missing the mark. So anyway, she gets back. She's kind of, okay, oh, well, you know, nothing in the interior won her over. The drive won her over. The thigh extension, one thing she complained about was poking her leg. And like I said, I was sitting in the backseat. I couldn't figure out why it was or where her seating position was. And she just said, you know what? I don't want this car anymore. I said, okay, well, why don't we look at X5? I had the black X5 F15, the 50i. I thought, we trade in and get the G05. We can combine, you know, kind of look at this cars, save some money. She looks at the X5. It's hot outside. It's about 95 to 100 degrees outside. So I just go inside and, hey, I'm looking at the X5. They had like a bunch of X5s parked out in the front row. They're out there getting the key. He pressed unlock button. The sales advisor pressed unlock button. But he wants to look inside, but the car is a black car. It's sitting outside in the hot sun. And he's holding the key in his hand. He's not talking. And finally, at that point, I just like, all right, fine, I'm taking over. I said, can we turn the car on? Can we do this? And he's, oh yeah, sure, you know. So we're going over. I'm going over features. I'm playing her features, but I don't know that much about the GL5, so I'm just doing the best I can, trying to tell her little things about it. Anyway, she's not like, I'm super impressed. She's like, all right, well, she was kind of over that sort of that perception she got, that pompous perception she felt with that experience. She's like, I just want to go. So we left. So I went to a third BMW dealer. This was on the East Coast. And at this point, she drove the X5. They were, you know, they were better than the one that was here. But they took us to roads, and I felt like you're not selling the car. Like, you're not doing it like how I would do it. Is not how what's being done. You know, this is not a Lexus where someone wants something like, oh, okay, well, I want to just drive slow, and they want to have some fun. So I was like, all right, let's go back. So we talked about it. At that point, she expressed. She says, I don't want an SUV. I think I just don't want an SUV. I want a car. And she mentioned before, even when we were at the Audi, the SQ5, because those advisor at Audi at the time. And I'll name drop because it's a positive thing. His name was Howard. He was probably one of the best, if not the best. So because he knew his product and he knew how to sell the product to the customer. He had her sold on the SQ5. And originally she didn't buy the SQ5 back then because she wanted a car. And the only convertible Audi had made, because I think she wanted a convertible, or she wanted some type of coupe. And at the time, she wasn't much of a fan. I think she started looking at the RS, and I'm like, no, stay away from RS, because we're not going to spend $100,000 on a car like that, you know. So I just stayed here away from it. So we're at the BMW, one of the East Coast dealer. She's at the, she's looking at the showroom. She sees a few different cars, and they had a 2 Series, a 235, an M235, I believe it was what it was. She gets in it, she drives it. She said she liked it because she felt the power was very similar the experience to her Lexus IX350. She says, I want something a little more power than her IX350. Makes sense. So they have an M2 in the showroom. She asks if she can drive the M2. They tell her no. I'm there. I kind of say, like, I understand their stand on it. I do. I understand that you can't just let people drive those cars who are shopping. But from a wife's point of view, from her perspective, she says, how do I know I'm going to like it if I don't drive it? Why can't I drive the car if I'm interested in buying it? But I can't make a decision if I don't like it by not driving it. I see both points, because they're not letting her drive it, and she really likes it, but she's not able to get the opportunity. So that put a bad taste in her mouth. That point on, that was 3 different times, 3 different dealerships. She's been put off. She says, I'm just over BMW, because BMW is not. I'll be honest with you. If I had those test drives, if I had no idea about the product at all, and I had those test drives, I probably wouldn't buy one either, because I wouldn't know what would be the hype about. What was the hype about BMW? What is the purpose? You're called the ultimate driving machine, but show me the ultimate driving machine, right? So we went on. We talked about it, and she went over to Mercedes. She looked at the line, saw the AMG, wanted to come drive it, talked to the sales advisor at the local Mercedes dealer. He said, sure. He pulled that AMG out of the showroom, pulled it out for her. He let us, that was during COVID, let us do a solo test drive. And came back, and she bought that car that night. Now this car cost more than the M2. This car was, you know, I understand the risk of both sides, but that's just how certain people work. And I think it could be like, I think for enthusiasts, we sort of redo our research on paper. We read all the stats, we see, okay, this car's got this, got this, got this, and this. I'm pretty much, it's in your sights. You're probably 90% sure if you're gonna buy it. Let me sit in the car. All right, let's do paperwork, and then we can start working on, you know, the test drive. And at that point, you can show you're ready because you've already done your research. Someone that's not that likes cars, but may not be as full enthusiast as maybe me or some other people who are watching. They need to feel the car. They need to drive it. They need to see how the steering wheel feels. They need to see how the aerodynamics in the car, the shifter, the seats, you know, how does it look when you're driving it from the inside and getting in and out of the car. You know, you have to step in and out, or is it hard to get in and out of? And just the view, you know, like I think all those things combined is certain people, right? I'm not gonna gonna blame the dealer 100%, but I feel like they should have to give her a little bit more to allow her to have that experience. But I had a similar experience with the Type R. I did videos about that. It was a lot about the Type R. I mean, they wouldn't let me drive one, let me sit in one, and eventually had to test drive. And I'm an enthusiast. I mean, I know on paper why I may like a car, but let me just drive it real quick, just to solidify it, and then we're good. And I understand that it happened. I mean, this whole other story, 100 videos. You guys watch that separately. So here we are. She's looking at the SQ5. We're having issues. We're supply chain issues, and now we're being told the car. One dealer just wouldn't call us back. You know, I went there to visit them. I tried to be loyal to our sales advisor and tried to see if we can. I sent him an email. I went there to visit. He wasn't there. I called and he wasn't there. I'm not going to keep chasing somebody, so I went to a different dealer. We talked about price, had to place an order, and then we're in this situation again, where they want supply chain issues. Now we're not just losing wireless charging. We're losing blind spot monitor. We're losing forward collision warning with adaptive cruise control. We're losing, I think, a couple more things in that feature, and it's like, well, we're losing half the things that are in this package. We're losing half driver assistance stuff. I don't think you should buy a car these days without some of these features. So we're kind of writing it off. Much like the SQ5, I don't think that we're gonna get the car we want. So she says, look at the X. Let's look at the X3. So with that being said, I'm saying Howard, the one that sold her the SQ5, he works at BMW now. We're going straight to that BMW dealer. If anyone's going to sell her the SQ5, or sorry, anyone going to sell her the X3, it's going to be him, because he knows his stuff. So I'm going to let it go. If she decides at that point, I don't like it, and then I can fully understand her stand on it. It's not a car she doesn't like. We move on. I just feel like she had so many bad experiences before. She just put her off so much on the car. She needs a good experience, and I won't let her look at that BMW until that happens. Until we get that sales advisor. But of course, refrigerator went out last night. That's right. Woke up this morning. Lexi was going to work. She said that there's a puddle on the floor, all the water from the ice melted. This refrigerator is not that old. I mean, how long has LG start doing the Insta View, where you can knock twice and you turn the light on the lights up the screen, and you have a separate door here where you can. Anyway, the compressor was running. I knew it was running. Something was wrong with it last night. It was running a long time, and I'm out of warranty. I didn't pay for it. It's in warranty, so I'm out of warranty with this thing. So I think we're just had to get a new refrigerator, because I was shopping around for new compressors and trying to get someone out here to do what, and it's going to be expensive. So The compressors down here. Get in here. Haven't driven the X5 in a long time. Did the oil change on it. I think I was in that video. I switched over to 5W30. I'm just going to see how the gas mileage is going to be, but before I do it, I need to put gas in the car, and already on the fuel reserve. Came in. I think last time I put gas in it was when we did our trip about 2 weeks ago in Southern California. I did clean interior. Probably can't tell, but I had a lot of dust and stuff, so I had to really detail the inside of it, get it all cleaned up and stuff. You know, especially when you're just traveling in it, I think you just get a lot of different things inside the car that, you know, like, you know, we had sand and we had some other things that I just vacuumed out of the car, and I decided to just do a full like detail, you know, treat the leather, and there's a lot of leather in this car, I'm gonna tell you that. So I go do a lot of leather cleaner, conditioner, but it's important to maintain, you know, the car and everything is protected in here. It's a nice E63. Oh, there's a cop too behind him, but that was an E63. Here at the gas station. I'm not going to put on, normally I'll mix in E85 in here, but today I'm just going to do 91, 609, it's not too bad today. $111, not too bad. Now we're in here, look at some refrigerators. I hate spending money like this. This money could have went to somewhere else. Super frustrating, it really is. Or what I had before. Apologize. I might be red a little bit. Allergies killing me lately, especially with all this wind and pollen. But here we are, about to head out to BMW Concord and see what happens. Hopefully we'll get a fair fight with the BMW guys, see if she can make the switch over. 6,600 miles on this thing. There are better lease offers out there for these. I think lease would have been a better option, but given the current economy, we actually would make money on this car, hopefully. Let's say we're gonna trade it in. I think I'm just gonna try private for a while, and then we'll decide from there as the time gets closer, or she starts to feel like, okay, I'm ready to be done with this car, you know, we'll go from there. So we've heard it come on now. All right, hey guys, this is Howard. Now I've been talking about him in the past few channels or videos. So Howard,
hey, how's it going, everybody?
It's at BMW Concord. If you come to BMW Concord, this is the guy you need to see for the next BMW. I'm serious.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Maybe I have the M logo on these.
Well, they've done a little bit of a different.
It's not as big as it was.
I was going to say, I know you and I are the same height, so we get this all the time.
Yeah, it was that piece. It doesn't have my tab anymore though.
Should be a little bit more comfortable.
Yeah.
But I can't remember the last time I saw like an electric leg, like those sports leg extenders on the X3s.
Went like almost all the way across, so both of my calves rested on it. It was super weird.
So is it hitting it now, or is it?
No.
No?
Because it's only like this wide. It's in the middle.
Okay.
I mean,
And it shouldn't stick out that far. Yeah, they're all going to be manual on the X3s. So.
Now this one has the digital engine cluster too.
They're all going to have it
from
here on forward.
Okay.
I think anything in the X3 M40s for sure. You're going to have virtual, like the digital cockpit, the digital digital dash, the bigger screen on the 22s, the new tail lights. I mean, I like this year for an X3 M40 more than previous years. My girlfriend and I have a X3 hybrid. And they stopped making them in 21. And she loves it, and I'm glad we got it when we did. Do you guys want to drive it?
I do. The steering wheel seems so little compared to mine.
Oh yeah, I know.
It's more narrow.
It is a little bit more narrow. You should try checking out the iX, the full electric SUV.
Is it like, we see that.
Unlike the Audis, at least you can put your privacy barrier. You don't have to leave it in your garage. I know that sounds silly, but it's one of the small things that I've always liked, even if you are driving on run flights.
Oh, it stores up underneath it?
Yeah, so you don't have to
So
worry.
that's what you're saying.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
You don't have to leave it. That's nice.
Yeah, it's designed for it completely, depending on how you're. Yeah, which is nice. So you don't have to worry about it. It won't rattle either. So
we took it out of the X5 because it rattles.
Yeah.
It happens all the time. Do you have an Audi now still as well?
No. He has an X5M.
I know that I'm aware of.
Yeah.
That I'm aware of.
The X5M, and he's got an M3, and then I have my C63.
Okay.
So, no more Audi. No, I really like the S5. That's the problem. And now that I'm like really ready to order one.
They're just impossible. Their V6s were so hard to get. We got everything else. So maybe actually
I like
we're just gonna drop that there. And I'm gonna sit shotgun and we'll.
I really like
Probably
this.
dinner. I told him, I said, we're going to drive down here. You're going to have to feed me.
Not such a
That
bad
was
problem.
cool.
I don't know, guys. I think Lexi maybe
She might be wanting one. We'll see. But Howard did his thing. I tell you guys, right person, there's a product.
I like the facelift on these.
All right, everyone, we're back. I'm gonna say, honestly, I thought Lexi was gonna like have the same things. Like, I don't like the way it drives. Okay, here you are. You satisfied? I looked at BMW again, but it wasn't like that. She drove the car on the highway. She drove it around. The only thing she really get to do was punch it, but because traffic was heavy, and then she get a chance to really step on it to test the power out. She said from feeling, she thinks it could have been the same. And I think on paper, I think they're pretty similar. And maybe we can look at one again later on. But she is a strong contender now. So we're back in the BMW game. Now, she's going to build her spec. I think overall, I didn't film a little bit I filmed a little bit at the dealership, but I wanted, obviously, the sales advisor do his thing and, do it about me, filming and stuff and see. And also, I just don't know a lot about the G chassis BMWs anyway, so I kind of wanted to take some in.
Hey, what are you doing?
I'm doing a video. I'm talking about how you like the BMW now.
I would like to eat dinner.
All right. Okay. But it's the delivery, right? Her last experience is the BMW. I told you about that early on in this video. And the way that Howard presents it, I think we have other client advisors that does well at different brands too. I'm not gonna say like he's the only one, but for BMW, he did his thing calmly, like low pressure, just, hey, here's what this car is, straightforward, here's what we can get, here's the car, here are the options. He knew the brand wasn't like, oh, I don't know about this stuff, I don't know about that, things I don't know about this. It's just straightforward. Just Audi right now, I think with their supply shortage issues, there are things they're having and missing features, it's just not going to work out. So BMW X3 M40, maybe I'll let you guys know in a future video.